there's nothing. There's no.
Okay.
You can't. I mean, there's no. You don't feel anything.
Alright, what's up?
Nothing
Safety
good.
feature that locks the shifter. Transmission parking pole. To assist in preventing unintentional gear changes while the vehicle is parked.
How do you turn that off?
Well, no, I don't. It's almost like the gear selector has come
Yeah, like
attached.
Right.
In the column somehow.
That's reverse. That's neutral. Rule. Oh no, there's
No, it's not going.
Yeah,
into
there's
gear.
no.
It's not going into gear at all.
Pop the hood.
What year is this? What?
12, I think.
And it's a Chevy
Express.
Express.
Pop the hood. Let's see.
All right. Oh, yeah, I see it. It's popped off.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So whatever that guy says to do
Alright,
is what we need to do.
yeah.
So it's gonna
Well-
come right back off. So this is broken sometime here.
So that needs to go back on that
I mean, I
nut.
just
Yeah.
drove the truck last night. It was hot.
All right, so that'll get us
The good news
into
is there's a
drive.
cheap
Yeah.
fix.
I can't physically reach that up under there.
Even if we're flat on your back.
Yeah, because of the running boards.
Okay.
So, what would be cool is if we had that tow truck put us up on some ramps, which they probably haven't there.
Yeah, I bet they have some scotches. What's the plan?
Okay, so the gear selector cable popped off the side of the transmission, and we have to make load in like 4 hours. So I'm thinking we get some JB weld, some 2-part epoxy putty, pop the selector cable back on, JB weld that bitch on there, get to load in, and then figure out the part later.
Go back on this nut, and once it's there, we can fasten it on there with some of this shit that I'm about to get.
Well, there's no nut on it. That's the problem.
Oh, it's silicone adhesive.
No, we need something
Yeah,
that's
we
gonna
need-
harden.
Actually, you know what? This is probably better because it's the putty.
It's the what? Yeah, that's what I. Okay, yeah. Let's do that. We got Flex Seal, we got epoxy, some gloves, JB weld, and renewed spirits.
Okay, so if you didn't pick up on what's going on, the van won't go into gear. So we have a plan. We're gonna repair it. We're trying to make it a sound check still. That's why you always give yourself an hour. That's a tip. Always give yourself an extra hour because it's gonna slow us down, and we're gonna make it there on time. I bet. That's the plan, at least.
By the time we stop
Or if we
again,
do stop,
Oh,
just
okay.
keep your.
it should be hardened. But I will say, like, when you're going in and out of gear, be
Yeah.
ginger.
Gotcha. Who's Ginger?
All this is a cable that's connecting the gear shift on the column to the transmission gear selector that came off. And so all we have to do is take that cable, pop it back on the selector, stick some epoxy on it, and that should hold it.
Uniform color. And then it's. I might have done this a little early,
Yeah.
but didn't know he was going back to get another jacket.
Make another booger.
Yeah, I give him. This is my practice booger. This is when I throw to the roof and see if it sticks.
If you ever come back to this Lowe's, you're like, hey, yeah.
Let's go check on our booger.
Alright, so You'll be ready on the booger.
I got the booger, baby.
Jumping, baby.
Got the jack stand under there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Tell me when you're boogering.
Booger me.
Booger.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's going to work great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's being just fine. Good. Yeah.
Everything's fine. I told y'all.
On time is late.
You think we're gonna make it to sound check on time?
We're gonna be real close.
I feel it.
Yeah.
Reuben rises from the dead.
Time and time again.
Got the trailer button in.
Yep.
We just drive off without the trailer.
Man, it's driving better too. I don't know. We're flying.
My gas mileage is way better. All right, so Rhett and Ian and a random guy from Love's got the shit working.
Oh, we should ask that guy's name.
Yeah.
He was really helpful.
Yeah, he was good. Good hang. Yeah, we got the van working, back on the road. We should still make it for sound check, hopefully, or at least pretty soon after. All right. Hey, Rhett.
Yes.
How do you approach music differently in different spaces? Like as a guitar player, how do you approach your gig in different rooms or venues?
I think the first thing is, in terms of volume, trying to find the right balance of volume, like stage volume, where it feels good on stage when you're moving air, where your amp and your speakers are working properly together, where the guitar is able to interact with the amp and the speakers, versus not overpowering the rest of the band. Or like last night we were in a really small room, really tight stage. The monitor setup was really limited, so trying to basically build a monitor mix on stage with your stage volume. So I think that's the first thing, is like trying to get that dialed in.
What's the perfect room? Like, what's your ideal room to play? Acoustically, vibe-wise, crowd-wise?
A 3,000 cap old theater that was built in the 1920s. It's been renovated, but has it as the original wooden stage. Because
that is oddly specific.
And we've played these rooms, when you're, first of all, they're beautiful. Like these old American theaters that have been restored, I mean, they're gorgeous. And when you're standing on the stage looking out at the house, I mean, it's a better view than looking at the stage. And then two, when there are these big, super high ceilings above the stage, because they're theaters, the sound just like, it's so much more, it's almost like you're enveloped in the sound of the band, and the stage resonates.
Round two. What are we doing different this time?
Heavy bike. A little bit of. Oh, we got to put a slop on it first.
Slop.
Slop it. Booger it. Zip it. Pop it.
Bop it. Slop and drop.
Pull it. Twist it.
So Flex Seal, JB Weld, and zip ties?
Yes. It's gonna be ugly.
Good.
Here's a booger.
Not bigger.
Oh my God.
God, that's a big booger.
That's a big booger.
Okay. Where's the cap to this thing?
Oh, this is hot.
Yeah, I was just thinking, we could all just quit.
You
It
know,
would be easier to quit.
we could just quit. It'd be a lot easier if we quit.
If every band just quit when their van broke down,
World be a happier place.
there'd be no music at all.
Well, we have to go somewhere. If we just quit, we're it's like
We're in
all right,
Virginia.
See you guys.
Yeah. You done with zip ties?
Yeah, I think so.
I'll leave those two out.
No, if you want to run that back.
Hey, Ian.
What's up?
How do you change things in different spaces as a musician, as a drummer?
In
in different rooms.
Different rooms, like in different venues or different environments. Do you change what you do as a musician, and how do you change to adapt to the room that you're in?
So, yes, is the answer. I do change. Every good player, I think, should be able to adjust their touch and their own volume, especially as a drummer, to the room that they're playing, because you don't want to overpower the entire room or the stage or the sound guy and all that stuff. So, for instance, last night we played a pretty small room, maybe like 100 cap room, and I chose to play. The stage is very small. I'm backed into a brick corner, so I opted for a little bit drier, quieter sounding cymbals, just to keep, because that's a big problem on small stages, is cymbals and guitar amps and snare drums. Those are like your three problems all the time as far as volume goes. Normal for me in an arena would be all out pretty much all the time. Even your quiet songs need to be played full, nice and loud, because of the space is so big. It's gonna swallow everything up if you don't actually play. The opposite is true in small rooms. So you don't need, if we're talking in this small space here, I don't need to shout at you. You know what I mean? Same concept.
What's your favorite room to play? Like, if you could play any show,
Like,
or I mean,
like style of room?
yeah,
Or like side?
like stadium, rock
Okay.
club, jazz club, smoky dive bar.
Yeah.
What's like the most fun for you?
Honestly, 150 people slammed packed into a room is amazing, especially when you've got the stage a little lower to the ground. It's like maybe a foot off the ground, and everybody's just kind of right in your grill the whole night. It's great. That's a great energy. That's probably my favorite.
Could have been worse.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we were just happy it wasn't.
Worse is better. We're gonna write that song someday.
All right, we made it to the venue. We're a little late, but we got here because of some ingenuity and zip ties. We're getting ready to sound check here, and yeah, it's a cool room. It's a good vibe. Looking forward to this one. The way I like to think about playing to a room is there's two main things. There's volume and there's intensity. And it's easy to confuse them or think they're the same thing, but I don't think they are. I think really good musicians have the ability to play at any volume and at any intensity. I think the volume is determined by the room and the intensity is determined by the song. There's only so much you can do with the drums. The vocal has to sit on top. Guitars, keys are in the middle, and then the bass is down below. So what I like to do is I like to set my amp to try and complement the natural blend of things on stage already. Some people like to set their EQ a certain way. I usually start flat, and then I'll dial in the EQ to the space. I'll try and find where the boomy frequencies are in the room and then cut rather than add. If I'm not using a tube amplifier where I'm using the tubes intentionally to get a character of sound, if I'm using a Class D amp or a solid state amp, you're really just amplifying your sound. I'm not using the EQ section to determine my sound. I'm using the EQ section to balance my sound to the sound that I'm already generating. But something else you need to keep in mind is low frequencies. For the waveform to complete, that wave is a bigger wavelength than, for example, a guitar amp or the drums. So what that means, practically speaking, is if I'm standing right in front of my bass amp, which a lot of times is the case in a lot of rooms, the sound, what I'm hearing, is way lower volume than the people that are right here are hearing. So I might be wanting to turn my amp up more, but actually I'm blasting people in the front row and I'm making things way more difficult for the audio engineer. And I think anytime you're in a space, you need to remember that your audio engineer is your ally and your friend and not your enemy. You need to be humble and be willing to accommodate their needs because they know the room better than you and they know what the people are hearing better than you. So if you're fighting the audio engineer, you're being selfish and you're actually making the whole band sound worse. sometimes you can't have your amp at the volume that you want it. You have to be willing to have it lower, and that might mean you can't hear everything. And tonight we're running in ears, so we have the luxury of hearing everything in our ears. But like last night, for example, we were running wedges. We didn't all have our own wedge, so we all kind of had to compromise on what we could hear. And I think last night, for example, the most important thing was that Noah could hear himself singing, and we could kind of use the stage volume to kind of hear each other for everything else. So what I'm getting at is sometimes you're going to have to accommodate your band members with the room balance, the stage balance. You're going to have to be an ally to your audio engineer and make sure that you're not overpowering or compromising what they're doing. So for me, I think playing to the room, it means being able to use your equipment and your ears and your feel and your muscle memory to be able to play with any volume or any intensity. Volume to match the room, intensity to match the song.
Found myself drifting off in a nowhere town again. I've been singing and cussing, screaming and hollering out with my friends.
The show last night went really well. It was really fun. I think the room felt great. The people that were there enjoyed it. It wasn't a huge show. It's like 100 to 200 people, I would guess, but everyone that was there to see us, and it was really good energy. I really like playing rooms like that. I would much rather have a smaller space with a higher concentration of people in it that are excited to be there. I think what I like is the energy, and I like having people that are there for the show. That's what feels good to me. So yeah, we're gonna drive home. It's been a great little run, last run of 2022. Excited for big things in 2023. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. And also, if you haven't checked it out yet, check out the course in my description. That's the #1 way you can help out this channel. It's a 2.5-hour course. Teach you how to play bass in a band. Hopefully by the end of the course, you could start writing your own bass lines and get out there and play. So, thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you on the next video.
So when I make it home.